Hey everyone, Wyduck here again with a set of replays from the WCS Season 2 Finals. And this time on Newkirk Preinct, we've got spawning in the bottom left as the Blue Zerg, playing as Toss Imba. From Team Acer, we've got Scarlett. And maybe Protoss is imbalanced, but Protoss players do enjoy that storm, so you can't argue with that. In the bottom right, spawning as the Red Terran, we've got Prime's Maru. And you have to remember, Maru is the youngest winner of the Korean series, able to defeat Rain in 4 consecutive games to take the series 4-2. So Maru now is no underdog. When he went into that tournament, everybody was thinking, well, he might get to the quarters, maybe around to 16, but he came out as the champ. And he also defeated Innovation in the semifinals 4-0 with very aggressive tactics. And that's the kind of Maru I like to see. An aggressive Terran is very entertaining. We'll have to see what Scarlett is going to do about it, but we have Scarlett actually sending out an initial drone to be scouting around the map, looking for proxies, because Maru is one of those players that is not afraid to proxy. And this drone is actually halfway across the map, might just do a full scout instead. And that will delay Scarlett's minerals income by just a little bit. That hatchery will go down a little bit slower. But this drone has been worth it, able to see the CC on the low ground from Maru, and this is one of the dangers winning the command center on the low ground, especially against an early scouting player. That drone is just pecking away at that SCV and has delayed that command center a little bit, and at the same time, Maru's had to pull additional SCVs to deal with this drone. The drone does eventually regenerate, SCVs do not, though SCVs can be repaired. This SCV is down to 10 life, might get picked off. Going for the kill is that drone, but Maru is going to be escaping with that SCV, going to be pulling that back into his base. And once again, this command center is delayed once again, going to hand-to-hand combat with that SCV. The drone is in the red, so Scarlett's going to have to be careful here. At the same time, she's actually going for 3 hatcheries, a very aggressive play, and that's because Maru's going for command center first and on the low ground. I think this is a wise decision by Scarlett. I don't think Maru's going to be able to really push into that 3rd hatchery for quite a while. That drone is going to escape. At the same time, Maru didn't lose any SCVs, so good microing by Maru. And he's getting 2 refineries up as well. And that command center is finally going to finish after being delayed by a few seconds from that very annoying drone. Maru is going to be scouting Scarlett's base, seeing the timing of that spawning pool, or maybe not able to see it as of yet. Nope. So Maru's not going to be able to see when that spawning pool was finished. There are no Zerglings out as of yet. There are 2 queens being built. And Maru's SCV is going to be jetting out of Scarlett's side of the map. And now with the 3rd hatchery up, Scarlett is in a good position. And Maru is going to be going for his own 3rd command center at the 5-minute mark. So very interesting by Maru. But this Overlord, this scouting Overlord from Scarlett was going to go in there, but is scared away from that Marine. Not able to get that crucial scouting information. If Scarlett was able to spot that, it might have been a very precarious situation for Maru, because if Scarlett decided to do an all-in of some kind with roaches or with banelings, it would have been very difficult for Maru to defend. So it's a good thing that those 2 Marines are there, able to scare away that Overlord. And Maru is going to get that factory up behind this. Also getting a bunker to try and protect his natural, so that's a good choice. His command center, his 3rd command center, is going to finish right away here. And both players are stabilizing. They're just focusing on their economy. You see Scarlett is building 7 or 8 more drones currently. So she's really droning up. We've got 38 drones, 230 SCVs. So Scarlett is ahead in that regard. Also starting Zergling speed now at the 6.5-minute mark. And finally, the first active Kree tumor is going to finish. Scarlett is known for her active creep spread. And so it's nice to see finally her first creep tumor is going to get some action. And it looks like with all these additional queens, maybe more creep tumors are going to be laid down. And I think that's important for Scarlett. You really want that speed to jet across the map to and fro your opponent's base. 1-1 is being researched by Maru, and it looks like he'll have the upgrade advantage. So if he wants to be the aggressive player here, which is never a bad idea, especially if you have the upgrade advantage, it might work out well for Maru because he is behind economically. You have to remember that Scarlett went for the third hatchery very quickly. And with 3 bases and many more drones, it might be in the Zerg player's advantage economy-wise. Even though Scarlett does have access to more drones, Maru does have access to mules, so that might even out a little bit. The first Zergling is going to be melted, so resources lost is 25 for Scarlett. Not really indicative of how the game is going necessarily, and the Hellions are going to be jetting across the map. No hatchery here, so the Hellions are going to have to find another position to harass. Able to pick off 1 active creep tumor. You can't underestimate that, but the 4 Hellions are going to run into the natural. There's nothing defending here. The drones are all under attack. We'll have to see. Wow, a big attack. 2 drones are lost. Now Zerglings are being focused on. Hellions are still here with 3 of them. Another Zergling does go down, but it doesn't look like this Hellion's going to do any more damage. So very unfortunate for Maru. He had 4 Hellions in here doing a lot of damage to the drone line, but only able to kill 2. And so I think that trade was not very good for Maru. He does have his 3rd up now. And so both players do have 3 bases. So it'll be up to Scarlett to get that 4th base. And right on cue, she's sending a drone over to the 4th location, setting up that hatchery. And at the same time, she's being relentless with that creep spread. But in fact, her 4th hatchery, she's not even going to bother. That drone is going to come back. So very interesting. Her Baneling's nest is almost complete. She's going to come in here with the Overseer to scout all these barracks and the reactors. Seeing exactly what is going on in Maru's base. So that's a good play by Scarlett. And also able to escape with the Overseer. So great. Generally, you'll lose the Overlord or that Overseer at that point in time. But Scarlett was able just to drift across that base and didn't lose the Overseer. So very good pickup by Scarlett. And now Maru is retreating to the center of the map, and the creep spread is about halfway between both players' bases. So Scarlett is able to see incoming attacks very easily from Maru. And this does not bode well for the Terran player. And now the Zerglings are across the map. It looks like it might be some sort of flank. They're going to try and attack these Hellions from the left and right. Might be able to corner them here. We've got Marines on the low ground also firing up. A lot of Zerglings do go down, and Scarlett is going to have to retreat, it looks like. Maru with a very good hold there, and now focusing on those advancing queens, cleaning up 2 of those creep tumors as well. And now here's the cleanup crew with the scan. 3 creep tumors will be cleaned up, so that is very important for Maru. Sending that creep back to where it came from. And Maru is going to be advancing here again, it looks like. Able to pick off 1 stray Overlord. Can't ever underestimate that. That can supply block the Zerg player if Scarlett is not careful. Now Scarlett has her 4th base. It's almost up and running. But Maru is going to have to pick up and boost away. We've got Mutalisk in this composition from Scarlett. But now they're going to running out of boost energy. And so all the Marines are going to have to be dumped off here. But there's so many Zerglings and they're chewing away at the Marines. Some Widowmine hits, but they don't get very good connections. But still, Scarlett is going to withdraw. We've got a lot of stimming Marauders and Marines in the center of the map. Supplies are very close. And another scan does close down. I'm going to clean up these 3 active creep tumors. So good play by Maru. Once again, sending that creep back to Scarlett's side of the map. And you can't ever underestimate that. Now, some players, sometimes they forget if you engage on creep, it's very difficult to deal with those speedy Zerglings and Banelings. These 2 queens have seen better days, but they're both going to pop for the low price of nothing. But the Zerglings are streaming in here. The Widowmines get some good connections. The Mutalisks are still on top, and they're able to focus down on these Marauders. There's still a lot of stimming Marines, but can they deal with all these Zerglings? And the answer is yes. Going to repel this attack once again from Scarlett. So Maru is holding his own, but Scarlett is constantly being very aggressive, and she's got this 4th base up as well. So the longer this goes on, even if Scarlett can trade close to even, she's going to eventually come out ahead. Resources lost is barely even, but those Mutalisks have to fall back. You don't want to fight all those stimming Marines with no reinforcements, and she does have a whole bunch of Banelings in this composition. She's got 9, and she's got 19 Mutalisks. And these Banelings are going to be rolling. And I want to see what connections they can get. The 4th base of Maru is set up now, upgrading into Planetary Fortress. Once the Planetary Fortress is up, it'll be a lot easier to defend this position, especially since they one-shot Banelings. We've got more Banelings coming in now. 13 are morphing in, but most of them are going to finish anyways. The mines have to get good connections here. Able to focus down on the Marines, but not... Or on the Mutalisks, rather, but not getting great connection. Now the Marines are fleeing. They're trying to stim, but there's so many Banelings here. Maru needs to split great, but unfortunately the Banelings get great connections anyways. And now there's a huge supply difference for Scarlett. Scarlett's got a 40 supply difference, and she's just marching in here with all her Zerglings. The medevacs are going to have to pick up and boost away, but this 3rd base is under heavy attack, and the medevacs are getting focused down, and now the Mutalisks are in the production area of Maru, and he's down by 70 supply. It's going to be very difficult for him to get back into this game. The bunker does go down, and this 3rd base is totally been destroyed, at least the SCV line. The SCVs are retreating, but the Marines are going to stand back into the natural with the safety of that bunker. But this orbital command is being focused down by the Mutalisks. It's in the red, and it is going to be finished off. It's going to burn down. Unfortunately for Maru, Maru is fighting back valiantly with all these stimmed Marines. It's going to repel his attack at least temporarily. Still got this 4th base up and running, which is now his 3rd, but he's behind by almost 80 supply. And I really don't think Maru is going to be able to come back in this game. There's just so many Mutalisks. He has 3-3 coming, but he doesn't have that many units to give 3-3 to. The Mutalisks are just 1-0. So Marines can have a field day against the Mutalisks, but once again, if you take a look at this army, we've got 14 Banelings and 34 Mutalisks and 56 Zerglings on the map. That's a lot of Zerglings. And unfortunately, that mine was not able to get off another shot, and now Scarlett is just going to rampage in here. The Marines are all very damaged, so the Marines cannot stim that often, and it looks like with one lone medevac, these Marines are going to get cleaned up. One great connection by the Banelings, and the Banelings are able to get a few more connections. But I think Scarlett is in such an advantageous position. I don't think Maru can come back. He's just floating around, picking off stray supply depots. This factory is also going to get picked off. This 3rd base of Maru's is still intact. It is a planetary fortress, but we've got no anti-air except for these Widow Mines. Widow Mines will get 1 kill. But all these SCVs are going to get fed to these glaive worms. Marines are going to stim in here and try and clean up this pack of Mutalisks, but once again, the Mutalisks are just so fast they can run away. Mutalisks do go down, but we have too many Mutalisks. The Marines can't deal with it, and with all these rampaging Banelings and Zerglings, it's going to be GG from Maru. So Scarlett is able to take game 1. We'll have to see if she's able to finish this off in the next game, or whether or not Maru can come back and at least force a game 3.